This is the important truth about the Plaedians, and this is essentially the agenda that the reptiles and the greys have. I really want to share this important information with you all because I believe it is incredibly important to the advancement of humanity. And it's the only way we can truly reconnect with the divine feminine template and actually get our DNA back. And first of all, the Plaedians are not our enemies. There's a test you can do, and it's called Google. And if you Google Plaedians, you will realize that Google is a reptilian platform. Because modern ufology and modern belief sees the Plaedians as someone bad. And people have told about their experience with the Plaedians, abductions and things like that, or meeting them in a meditation. But the fact of the matter is, the reptiles and the greys have become exceptionally good at posing as Plaedians. Most of the time when we do think we see Plaedians, we are actually seeing greys or reptiles. And that's because there's been a smear campaign against the Plaedians for hundreds of thousands of years now. And when the Lyran races, which was our ancient human ancestors, first seeded the consciousness in this galaxy, the Plaedians were the master gardeners. Their expertise was in nurturing like a heart-centered and telepathic creative civilization. That was their expertise. And they helped establish Earth as a goddess school, a school of the goddess. And they encoded the original human DNA with 12 strands, a blueprint for limitless creativity, empathy, and co-creation with nature. And this was a feminine-based consciousness system. And it was governance by intuitive resonance and community and harmony to all of Gaia's cycles. And they embodied and they taught the feminine principle as the foundational power of creation itself. And men and women in the beginning, at that time, men and women alike were taught to honor this internal and external feminine force. And the reptiles and the greys and the draconian reptiles, the empire, they invaded, and they're purely patriarchal predatory. And it's a hive mind consciousness. They saw the Plaedian creation. It was a free, loving, sovereign humanity. And they saw that as an abomination and a threat. So the reptilians and draconians, they did physical and genetic attacks, and they corrupted the DNA. They severed our strands and lowered our planetary frequency. And then there was spiritual and psychological warfare. And this is where the lie about the Plaedians was born. So the draconians and the greys, they launched a cosmic smear campaign, and they began impersonating Plaedians. And a lot of the cold, manipulative Nordics, they have nothing to do with Plaedians. And the Nordics, they make bargains that demand secrecy. And they are the draconian or tall white imposters. And they pretend to be Plaedians. And what they want to do is sow distrust in our true star family and make humanity fear the very beings who want to help us heal. The original helpers of our DNA. And they want to steal the loyalty and genetic material of awakening human under false pretenses. So the Pleiadians are warm and compassionate and heart-centered. They're beautiful beings. And their presence is like a wave of unconditional love. But the imposters are cold, clinical, and superior. You know, their communication is telepathic, but it's more of a download or a command. And they focus on technology and rules and hierarchies. And speak of salvation, but the salvation is that you have to follow their plan. They might show a beautiful form, but their eyes are dead, and that is a dead giveaway. The Plaedians are now emergency responders. They are here around us, with us, and they're trying to connect with us. And they're trying to repair the corrupted feminine template to help reactivate the dormant DNA strands that we have, the ones that carry the codes for intuition, empathy, and consciousness creation. And an important thing is they are also here to remind women of their divine sovereignty, okay, as living embodiment of the goddess, and to remind men of their true sacred masculine, protector of life and the guardian of the heart, not the distorted sort of warrior program. So when you go on Google, which I'm sure you have, and you Google Plaedians, okay? Or you Google Nordic. In mainstream UFO lore, this is like a honeypot trap. It's a contaminated label, and it's designed to create confusion and distrust. And this is done by the reptilians and greys because they need that distrust and confusion. The real tall whites, the true Nordics, are cold, they're service to self, and they come from the Orion zone. And they're deal makers, not healers. And they have kind of a pale, tall, human-like appearance, but their energy is very sterile. And they're transactional. And they often align with other control systems, the ones that the reptilians are a part of. And the Plaedians is our star family from the Pleiades cluster, okay? 7 sisters, and their appearance is diverse. When you go on Google, there's no real pictures of Plaedians because the smear campaign has worked, okay? But a Plaedian is radiant, okay? And they look nothing like Nordics. They're very varied. There's a great variety in what they look like. They can have olive skin, dark hair, they can be in between, they can have many different kinds of appearances. But they're radiant and they're beautiful and they exert really good energy. And the draconian and reptilians, the consciousness that they have, thrives on the confusion and misidentification. So there is a separation agenda. They want to separate us from the Plaedians. Because if you fear and distrust the Plaedians, your true helpers, you will reject their energetic transmissions and their healing codes. They have healing codes and their guidance. And you will be left alone, confused, and easier to control. So, and on the internet, there's a lot of programs to protect the imposters. The tall whites and other self-serving groups they impersonate the Plaedians, and they try to make the public believe that Plaedians are the cold Nordics, and it gives a perfect cover for the imposters. And so when you connect with a true Pleiadian energy, you feel a surge of warm golden light in your heart, and you might get tears for no reason. And you will get thoughts of healing love. You will feel empowered, not subservient, and you feel like you're wrapped in a cosmic hug. But when you encounter the reptilians or the Nordics, you will feel a chill, and the interaction will be logical, distant, and perhaps more about technology or warnings. And you will feel assessed and not loved, and their eyes might be captivating, but they're empty. So, and it will feel more like a business meeting. So, remember that the Plaedians are the bearers of the Sophianic Christos feminine. Okay? The Sophianic Christos feminine light. And they are nothing like the cold, hierarchical Greys, Nordics, or reptiles. And the reptilian system are trying to suppress the goddess and are trying to slander her starborn guardians. So you have to trust what you feel, okay? And not what you're told to search, not what you're told when you're searching on Google. And your heart knows the difference between a Nordic and a Plaedian. The internet currently does not. So bless you all, and I wish you all a wonderful day.